Hello everybody out there in the wine world. This is Bill Elsey, the Sommelier with Wines.com, and today I'm joined by our new co-host here for the Wines.com videos. This is Jessica Farley. Jessica, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
It's a pleasure to have you here today. And so we are going to have the second installment of the value-driven wine selections. This is going to be 3 different reds that Jessica and myself have selected that fall into kind of the prime category that people are drinking on an everyday basis, in the $15 and under price point, kind of in that $10 to $15 realm. So we have 3 different wines. Let's go ahead and get started. Jessica, what's the first one that you selected here for us?
Well, the first wine we have here is a Pinot Noir, and it is from Oregon, from Arath Vineyards. And I absolutely love Oregon Pinots. So this is one of my favorites, and it's at such a great value point. You're looking at about $15 a bottle on this Pinot here, and just like any traditional Oregon Pinot, it really just shines through with great minerality, but still has that red fruit that you're going to get in the New World.
All right. It's kind of hard to find value-driven Pinot Noir because it's been such a popular category. So anytime that you can find something, I think that falls into that $15, $17 price range, it's worth its weight in gold because it's something you can drink every day. Delicious nose.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it just smells very, very pretty. You get a lot of that really bright red cherry fruit, that strawberry, that raspberry characteristics come through.
And Bill, you know what I really like about this wine also is that it really appeals to both white wine drinkers as well as red wine drinkers. It's really light. So you can drink it by itself. You can drink it with food. I like to make a nice fresh margarita pizza or even a nice barbecued chicken breast.
Right. Well, and sometimes with Pinot, you don't exactly know what you're going to get. The thing that I really like about the Willamette Valley, I think, as a whole, is the wines tend to show a little bit more restraint, a little bit more balance. Sometimes with California, you get wines that, while they claim to be Pinot Noir on the label, might have a little bit of something else in them to either darken the color or kind of bolster the body a little bit. So whenever you get a wine that's made like this, it's a little bit more of that kind of elegant style with a really nice acid to it, a lot of that red cherry fruit, that kind of underlying minerality. It's not overwhelming at all. So if you have somebody who's just kind of entering into the world of red wines, this is a nice kind of stepping stone in between, something like going from Chardonnay into Cabernet. This is a nice little step ladder for it. So, well, what do you get on the palate?
Well, I think those berries really come through on the palate.
I like the fact that this wine doesn't show a lot of oak characteristics to it. It's something that actually I know that you had, whenever you brought it in today, it had it chilled. So a little bit of a chill to it, I think, really is nice to kind of bring down some of any of the alcohol character. It makes it very, very smooth, very easy to drink. That's a nice little wine for an everyday drinker.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, let's move on to the next one here. So, Jessica, whenever you are looking for red wines to buy kind of for everyday consumption, what is it that you're looking at? Is it price first? Is it what you're going to have with dinner that evening?
Actually, it really is based on what I'm going to be having for dinner that evening. And when I tend to cook, I love big, bold Cabernets, I love Bordeaux, but if I'm going to be having salmon or halibut, I can't necessarily drink those wines with the meal. It's not going to go. So I really base my meal, and I just absolutely love to cook, so I really base my wines that I purchase, reds especially, on what I'm going to be eating that evening.
Right. Okay, perfect. So we've kind of got an array of different wine selections here. I think starting with the lightest bodied, we're going to move into something that's a little bit more medium bodied realm. This is a wine that for the price point, I go crazy for this wine because it's just ridiculously good for what you pay for. So this is the Eric Tessier. This is Côte de Rhône, coming from the Southern Rhône, red blend. He is typically, the blend will vary from year to year, but typically it's Grenache dominant, about 50% Grenache, and then also the majority of the wine is made up of Carignan and Cinsault, making up that other half. So a Southern Rhône blend. Coming in, I mean, you can find this at some larger retail outlets and even online for like $12. I mean, I think average retail is about $15 a bottle. One thing that I was impressed to find out about this wine whenever I was first tasting is he kind of falls into the quote-unquote natural winemaking camp. So he doesn't necessarily use anything other than what is absolutely necessary in the winemaking process. So minimal sulfur, minimal intervention in the vineyards and in the cellar itself. no fining, filtering, things like that. So he's kind of more of a hands-off winemaker, which for me is great only if the wine tastes good. I really care if the wine tastes good first and foremost, and then to hear that it's a natural winemaker is something that's kind of cool to me. So let's see what you think about this one.
Well, immediately I get that barnyard grill on the nose.
Yeah, it's a little rustic. You know, it's like right off the bat you think, oh, this is an old world wine. You get a little bit of that funk. I think you get some of those kind of warm red fruited kind of Grenache characteristics.
Absolutely.
You know, a little bit of that. Not quite jammy, but that really rich strawberry, that ripe red plum character comes through. Some of that real, like, kind of earthy spiciness as well. I get like that lavender, herbs de Provence, a lot of those different type of characteristics come through on the nose for me. So what do you think?
Great wine.
Yeah?
Absolutely. I think those real ripe berries really come through on the palate. Lots of strawberry. The tannins aren't too high there. That muskiness that was on the barnyard, that was on the nose there, didn't really shine through. It was more of the fruits that kind of...
Yeah, and I think, on the palate it cleans up quite a bit. I like a little bit of that kind of I guess, new world type of earthiness that will come through. But really this has, a pretty mouth-filling type of flavor and texture for a wine that's like $12, $13 a bottle. So for me, this is something that if you, were looking to have maybe some sort of game, red meat, something like that, or like a very just kind of hearty like pasta dish sometime throughout the middle of the week, this is a nice option to go to because it offers, a good structure to it, not just completely fruit driven, a little bit more body.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's move on to the last selection here. What did you pick out last for us?
Our last selection is going to be Snoqualmie. It is a Merlot, and it is from the Columbia Valley in Washington. And what I like about this wine is that kind of we hit on the last wine is that it is a certified organic by the state of Washington, and they use sustainable practices. So it's really, the winemaker really takes the time to make this wine its own without using any fining or any methods that aren't traditional. So I really like that. It comes to us, the makers of Chateau Ste. Michelle as well as Columbia Crest. So it does have that value point. This is going to be, you're going to see this about $9.99 a bottle, upwards to about $12 a bottle.
Okay.
So
sweet. All right.
See how it's...
Yeah, I got a little bit of a darker color to it. We're definitely kind of getting into something that's going to show a little bit more full-bodied. Yeah, nice nose.
Definitely is vanilla.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of newer oak characteristics to it. I think it's showing a lot of that kind of plum, blueberry, black cherry character, some dark floral notes as well. Just a little bit of that kind of greenness that I get sometimes from Merlot, but not out of balance with it at all. It's kind of just a little bit of that fern. Very pretty nose. What do you get? What do you think?
I feel like this really shows off those concentrated flavors like a Cabernet, but not so heavy. It's real light. So coming up with those flavors, you have those real dark fruits that are coming forward, but yet it's still restrained and a lot lighter on the Merlot side.
I think this is ridiculous for the price. I mean, if this is $8.99, $9.99 a bottle, it's like, come on. I think this is one of the positive effects of Merlot not being a popular grape variety. Ever since 2005 when Sideways came out, Merlot has just been kind of this, just evil stepchild. This wine shows all of the Merlot characteristics that I would look for when identifying it blind. Great fruit, great structure, like you said. It's densely compacted, but it's not overly done with the tannins. It does have a little bit of that kind of sweet vanilla, a little bit of those spice characteristics from the new oak, but it's like, come on. I mean, this was really, really good for the price point. That's probably one of the bigger eye-openers to me. Washington State, I mean, I've been on their kick for a while. They just do some great stuff, great balance with the wines. So,
What's great about it is that it is certified organic, which is a big plus in the world today as people look for a lot of organic products. They don't use pesticides. They actually conserve the water. So it's great for not only our environment, but also, falls through on the nose and the palate of being just a truly outstanding wine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a good organic wine that tastes good. Sometimes that's not the case. Well, cool. All right. So these are our thoughts on 3 red wines. Go out there. You can find these pretty much in a lot of your major retailers, a lot of your larger liquor stores and things like that. Go out there, give them a shot. Let us know what you think. We'd also love to hear any recommendations that you have as kind of a go-to everyday value-driven red wine. You can always reach out to us on Twitter at Wines.com and hit us up on our Facebook page. I am at Bill Elsey on Twitter, and she is at Jess M. Farley on Twitter. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.